Hey my friend, welcome to my top 10 chords from my favorite album of Genesis, Selling England by the Pound. So hopefully you're gonna learn many chord shapes or chord progressions that you can reinvest into your own music if you want. So let's dive in. At number 1 in the song Dancing with the Moonlit Night, there is a beautiful guitar harmony in the intro. So the chord progression, the main progression is C sharp minor, G sharp minor, coming back to C sharp minor, and then to F sharp minor. All the way back. But there's a second guitar layered on top, a 12-string guitar that plays a shape that sounds like this. And it adds a sweet friction on top of the chord. So if I play both at the same time with my looper, it sounds like this. Right? So by adding this on top of this chord, especially this note right here, it creates a beautiful ninth extension, a sweet friction, and if I merge both of these chords together, it sounds like this. Right, a sweet friction at the bottom. So it's quite stretchy. It's better if you play it higher on the fretboard so that it's more playable. But it's a sweet friction of a minor 9 voicing, if you will, that you can reuse if you want. At number 2 in the same song, it's simple triads, but you'll see that Hackett uses them in many songs throughout the album and a lot in his own music. It's the one that goes like this. So this is a simple C sharp minor triad that you do by barring the 9th fret from the 3rd to the 1st string. And then we go to a G sharp minor triad that's really close to it, and it's just super seamless to transition from one to another. Right? And it's really practical to add the little 9th extension as a little embellishment right here with your pinky on the 11th fret, right? And a lot of times he's gonna play another note, a bigger triad, by adding the 11th fret on the 4th string right here, and you can still add the embellishment right here. So it's actually the same chord then at number 1, this one. It's just at the 9th that we add, instead of being at the bottom, it's at the top. So it's the same chord, but it's a different voicing, a different flavor. It doesn't sound the same. So it's cool to have that in your bag of tricks to choose the right one for the right context. And then after that, you can go even further by adding the bass note at the bottom. So you can play a C sharp minor or the C sharp note at the bottom on the 9th fret. Have a full chord right here. So later in the song, they play it like this. And what is cool about that triad right here is that depending on the bass note that is behind it or at the bottom, it can change the chord entirely. So if the bass player plays a C sharp at the bottom, or yourself if you play a lower note, it's a C sharp minor chord. But if I replace the C sharp note by an A note, let's say with my pinky on the 12th fret of the 5th string, it becomes an A major 7 chord. The same exact triad can be different chords depending on the bass note at the bottom. And that's what they did in this chord progression to make it go somewhere. They do like this. If they hadn't played the A note at the bottom on the 3rd chord, it would sound more conclusive, right? It would sound like this. Like it sounds more conclusive, but by ending with a A major 7, it goes somewhere. It's not final. You cannot end here, right? So it's a great technique to use a triad like this, but change the bass note to create different chords. And I cannot end this song without talking about the outro of the song. The first time I heard that, I found that so beautiful. It's the outro that goes like this. So actually, it's an E minor 7 chord with an open first. But then we replaced the minor 7 of the chord by a 6, which is a nice sound. So it's more a sound of a harp on the real record, but if you want to sound as close as possible to the original, you could put a capo on the 12th fret right here and play it super high up on the fretboard from the 20th fret right here. And in that case, since the frets are so close together, I'm just gonna stretch my index to go 1 fret below on the 3rd string. So I love this voicing right here to play a minor 7 chord and then an add 6 chord just after it. So that was the chord number 3. At number 4, we go in the song More Fool Me, which is really interesting because it's a different tuning. So in the original, it's in E flat, so I'm not going to tune all of my, I'm going to stay in E, not to have to retune everything. But the trick here is to change the 3rd string and play it a half step higher. So instead of checking your tuning by playing the 5th fret on the 4th string like we usually do, to check the tuning of my 3rd string, I'm gonna go 1 fret higher on the 6th fret, and I'm gonna tune it until I get the same note. Right here. And now when I play a shape of an E minor chord, an open E minor, it's gonna create an E major chord because now the 3rd string is raised a half step, right? And when I play the shape of an E major chord, that's now an E sus4. Right? So that's what we're gonna do in this song, in the song More Fool Me. It goes like this. So what it does is that we add, once again, the little 9th on top, and then when we add the little index here, it creates the sus4, and when we add the pinky right here on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, it creates an A chord. So we have an A on top of a bass of E, and then we have an E. So it's quite interesting to, it's a little confusing to see like shapes that you used to associate with a minor or major chord, and now it's not the same thing. But I found that really cool. And then when they play, let's say the little shape that I showed you for the Dancing with the Moonlit Night, like this, then it's different. It creates a major 9 or a sus4 with a 9th. Like this. So I found that really interesting. So let's go back to normal G. Let's go back to a normal G for the next song. At number 5, we have the Battle of Epping Forest. And I'm going to play something that is usually played on keys, but it's just to demonstrate the sound of Genesis and progressive rock in general. We have something like this. It's usually played on keys, but it's to demonstrate a technique that's called pedal points. It's the essence of progressive rock. If you want to sound like Genesis, you have to use this a lot. And it's the principle that you change triads on top of the chord, but you keep the same bass note at the bottom. It stays static. So here we kept the B note, dun, 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 but we changed the triad. So this is an F sharp triad that goes to a B triad. And then it's an E triad that goes to a B triad. So if we play without keeping the same bass note, it sounds jumpy. It sounds like the harmony is doing a lot, right? So it sounds like like it's jumping a lot. But when you keep the same bass note, it's a totally different sound. Now maybe it's not super playable because it's supposed to be on key, but you can find some voicings like these. So that's an F sharp major on a bass of B. And this, for example, would be an E on a bass of B that goes to a B, right? If you want to learn more about these shapes right here, I teach about them in my lesson on major chords that you can find in the upper card right here. It's a lesson on voice leading that helped a lot of people. Or alternatively, you could play it like this. Right? So this is what we call a spread triad. And I have a mini course all about it that you can get first link in the description box if you want. Right, so this is the principle of pedal points, keeping the same bass note at the bottom and changing the triads. So it's super cool to use. At number 6 in the same song, A Battle of Epping Forest, we have a cool chord progression. I was flabbergasted first time when I first heard this chord progression. In the place where they say picnic, picnic, picnic. This chord right here. So this chord comes out of nowhere. It's so unexpected, but it sounds so good. So basically, we have the same, once again, the shape that I said with the added ninth. This time it's on F. It's a typical Hackett voicing. So it's just F minor that goes to C minor. It's just a C minor 7 with an added sus4. So the second time you expect the F minor to go to C minor again, but instead it goes to B major. In a super colorful voicing like this with an added sharp 4. So if you look at it, it's a tritone away from the F chord. The F minor goes to C minor, and then F minor goes to B. And those are a tritone apart. And it's the perfect place to put a surprising, unexpected chord and play a major chord, a tritone apart like this. And it works well to add the sharp 4, sharp 11 kind of sound. So I really, really love this the first time I heard it. And a last one in the same song, at number 7, I have a chord voicing. It's an E minor, add 6 and 9. It goes like this. It's a nice voicing, and once again, it's unexpected. I love how Genesis can just play chords that are super unexpected, but it just kind of works for some reason. So it's in the part where it goes like... So you don't expect that after hearing this, which is probably either a G minor 7 or a B flat major chord. But either way, hearing this after that, or it's not supposed to fit, like you hear that and then you hear those extensions, da, 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 da. Like it doesn't work, but for some reason Genesis they make it work. They can play any chord they want and it sounds good. So I like this voicing right here. At number 8 in the song After the Ordeal, it's another case of chords that shouldn't fit together, but it just works and it sounds cool. So we come from something like da-da-da, 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 and then it goes. The first time I heard that, I was like, what are those chords? What is this chord progression? So it goes from a C sharp minor chord, which is super clear, but then C sharp major, that goes to G. Once again, it's a tritone away. Then to a B, then to an E, and then to a F diminished that resolves to E. So it's super unexpected to hear. But I love it. It doesn't follow the rules of typically which chords you would find in a certain key, but they don't care. That's what's cool about it. So chords a tritone apart. Once again, you can try that. And they could have gone for so long. They could do. It just works well in a sequence to do something like this. At number 9, I cannot end this lesson without talking about Cinema Show and the beautiful guitar intro. That might be my favorite Genesis song ever because of that intro. And usually it's played on a 12-string guitar. And if you don't know, a 12-string guitar is played exactly like a 6-string. It's just that we double the strings. We have 2 strings really close to each other, which are usually tuned an octave apart or in unison, depending on the string. But what Hackett did is that he detuned some of those strings so that we have 2 different notes instead of an octave or an unison, and we can play cluster chords easier instead of having super stretchy voicings that way. But since I want to play it on electric guitar, I just reworked on some of the voicings for you, so it sounds like this. So you get all of these cluster chords. I call them clusters because it's not a usual way to build a chord, and we have many frictions in them. So the first one is the only one where you cannot play the open D at the same time. But I love it because it's a more comfortable voicing. If not, I have to play something like super stretchy, and I couldn't play it down the fretboard. So you can play the open D and then mute it to play the rest. Then you have this voicing right here. Then this one, that might be my favorite. And this one. And then you can replicate them down the fretboard if you want to play in the style of Cinema Show. Right? Super beautiful. And at number 10, it's just after that intro, we have some more beautiful chords that go like this. So it's just other versions of the cluster chords. So this one and this one, which adds a little suspension that wants to resolve here. So that's why it's just 2 simple chords, 2 similar chords, one after another, but one creates tension, this one that wants to resolve here. So we can hear one after another many times, and it never gets old. And just for fun, let's do number 11. The last song of the album is just like repeating the same themes, Isle of Plenty. But it's cool if you don't know these kinds of chords. So we have a C sharp sus2. Then that goes to the same G sharp minor shape that we can add the ninth on top. And then there is an A major 7. So if you don't know these two, the sus2 shape and the major 7 shape from the 6th string like this, you can add them to your bag of tricks. So I guess, wow, I haven't even mentioned Firth of Fifth, which is like, I don't even want to analyze what the keyboard is doing in the intro. Like, I cannot touch this monument. I guess I could do another lesson sometime, but here you go, your top 10 chords from Selling England by the Pound by Genesis. If you like the way I teach and the way I show you how to play chords, you can enroll in my free course. It's a course on spread triad chords. I show you how to play all shapes, major, minor, suspended, diminished, and how to play them in any key you want. Those are the kinds of chords that you want to add in your bag of tricks. And it's a free course, so you can click on the first link in the description box below. I give you chord charts and exercises and about 45 minutes of video lessons in the course, totally for free. This is my gift to you to thank you for watching my video. So click on the first link in the description box, enroll, and I'm gonna see you really soon on a new lesson. Until next time, au revoir.